Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
I think we can get started, ma'am. I've already messaged. Meanwhile, the others can join.
We are recording this session, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me turn on my camera and who is the brave person who is ready?
We have Khushi Soni with us today. Khushi,
Okay.
Good evening.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Hi, Kushi. Just before we start, first of all, it's really brave of you that you volunteered it. That's a very nice, right? But take it very light, take it very easy, right? So then also try to respond to questions. They just imagine that you are sitting in an actual interview like that. So take it light, right? So with that introduction, I would like to start. Um, hi, my name is Sarabjit, and I am taking your interview for a medical writing associate role. So, during the course of the interview, you may see me taking some notes. I will be noting down the observations, right? So, and in case you feel the question is not clear, just feel free to ask. And that's all. Now, I request you to introduce yourself.
Mansi, good evening, ma'am. I am Dr. Khushi Soni. I have graduated recently with the PharmD in year 2023, and I from Gujarat Technological University. I live in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and in the recent past year, I have interned at various hospitals as a clinical research coordinator. I have around 1.5 years of experience as a CRC, and currently I am working as a medical writer already in regulatory domain in Unison Pharmaceuticals. I am particularly interested in working as a clinical writer in clinical research field, and I am highly motivated and detail oriented person, and I have gained skills of managing phase 3 and phase 4 clinical trials as a CRC. I have around 7 months of experience in writing for regulatory writing. I write documents of CTD Module 2, which consists of a clinical overview and non-clinical overview. Sometimes I also write documents of on clinical summaries and non-clinical summaries. I provide justification on bio waivers also. And I would like to thank you today for providing me with the opportunity to interview me today. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. That's really good to know, Khushi. So you have already experience in a clinical trial domain as well as a working as a medical writer. That's really good to know. Now, I mean, if we really little want to know little more about you, is that is how you handle a situation or a you would like to share with us that if there is any key challenging or a difficult experience in your life, you may have a unique challenge or very difficult situation in your life. So you would like to share with us.
So, ma'am, are you asking me my real life challenge, or how will I handle any situation? I would like to confirm.
Yeah. I'm asking is a real time, which already happened with you, maybe a difficult situation, maybe a unique challenge in your life, how you handled that.
Mm, I would like to tell about like first time when my father faced a heart attack. He
Mm-hmm.
was hospitalized, and he is bit stubborn. So he denied it to undergo angioplasty. And
Mhm.
the doctor said that it is really critical and you should undergo angioplasty. But he was not ready to undergo such interventions. And that also suddenly that he was not aware about. So the doctor knew that am a PharmD graduate. So
Mhm.
he said that it's okay if your father is not undergoing angioplasty. At least he will have to take the injection of thrombolytics.
Mhm.
So he asked me that what will you prefer for your father? Which injection will you prefer specifically? That will you go for streptokinase or you will go for alteplase? He gave me two options. And
Mhm.
at that time, I had no practical experience of this, any of the clinical trial. It was first
Mhm.
time for me. So, and choosing therapy for others and choosing therapy for specifically my father is a great difference.
Mhm.
So, and the main thing was the price. The streptokinase injection cost was just around 3,000 and alteplase
Mhm.
was around 45,000.
Mhm.
So, I also had to manage financial backgrounds also. So
Mhm.
with so I just took time. I made my mind calm and I just
Mhm.
understood the situation. I
Mhm.
recalled my learnings at that time, that what I have studied in my PharmD. Then
Mhm.
I recalled that both the injections are equally effective. Only
Mhm.
the main difference is in the side effects. That
Mhm.
streptokinase is natural and alteplase is human recombinant.
Mhm.
So uh, it is effective, but and I thought that in any situations my father will be kept in the ICU only for three
Mhm.
days after
Mhm.
thrombolytics. So I thought that if I go for streptokinase, there will be no compromise in the efficacy of the drug. And suppose any side effects occur also, it will be managed in the ICU by the doctors as they are always available.
Mhm.
So, and I will not also put extra load on my father in
Mhm.
financial way. So
Yeah.
I took the risk and told the doctor to go for streptokinase, give him streptokinase. And fortunately, no side effects occurred to my father, and it went out really well. So it was the most challenging task of my life to choose therapy for my father in bed.
Yeah. So yeah, it is difficult because you are emotionally also involved. I hope your father is doing great now. Yeah,
Yes,
health
ma'am.
wise. Yeah. So and uh, just extending my question on that only, because if you're saying that you were in the process of choosing therapy for your father, so I must say that was quite a stressful time, right? So
Yes.
in general, that also in general also in our life we do experience stress. We there are times where we feel not our total ourselves, right? so how do you handle a stressful situation? How you respond to stress, and if there is a lot of stress, then how you overall keep yourself, in the moment and handle that whole thing?
First of all, I say to myself that Khushi, nothing will happen. Just take deep breath two to three
Mhm,
times. Then I
mhm,
sometimes I prefer to listen music also. It
mhm,
helps for faster de-stressing. And
mhm,
I say to myself that nothing is permanent in life, Khushi. That uh, everything goes in a cycle. That if failure is coming, if some hardship is coming, it is coming to improve myself. uh,
mhm,
I imagine the worst of my situation, that worst what will happen, and I try to prepare myself to face that situation. That how will I
mhm,
handle it? And
mhm,
then I say, just Kushi, just go for it. Whatever will happen, you will face it. You will do it definitely. And if it is failed, no problem. You can improve. You can learn, and next time you will definitely succeed. So this is the way
yeah,
I pre-stress.
yeah. That's really good to know. And what you do in your available time? I mean, if you are free, how do you spend your time?
When I'm free, I just try to expand and improve my knowledge. Well, to be frankly, I do more courses of CliMed education to improve my knowledge. They are highly
Good.
educational. I like
Yeah.
to explore information about clinical research, the recent advancements, what is going on, what new drugs are coming, what trials are going on. So I
Mhm.
like to keep up with the advancements in my free
So
time.
yeah, that's on technical front, on the lighter note, what you like for yourself, maybe your hobbies or maybe how you spend your time.
I would spend some time with my family also, as it is working as a highly distressing thing, and
Mhm.
I can enjoy. I like to play games, outdoor games with my family. I go out, watch movies. I listen to music. I also sometimes write things. Writing means like articles, small articles, which can be
Mhm.
posted. I
Mhm.
like drawing also. So these are my other activities.
And these article that which you write, you post in journals, or how it like where you post these
Uh,
articles, or
Actually, ma'am, this activity I have just recently started. I
hmm,
have involved in an internship of content writer internship. So
hmm,
just 1 week I have completed. So I am just learning how to do the formatting, how to use the AI tools,
hmm,
and what things should be kept in mind while writing the article. How it should be feasible for the audience, what they want. So
hmm.
that is currently in progress. So still it is, I have not published anything.
Okay, okay. So basically you write for yourself, right? That's also a nice thing, yeah. So how do you feel like how much you are passionate about medical writing? How you thought and how you convinced yourself that I wanted to be a medical writer and this is what I am liking? How
Mm,
you developed your passion in a medical writing?
Medical writing job is a highly intellectual job. Like
Hmm,
it involves a strong understanding of scientific concepts, and
hmm,
we need to able to uh, interpret the complex medical abbreviations, that writings, in such a way that we are able to convey to the target audience, like the patients, so they can
hmm,
understand in their language, and
hmm,
they get the clarity to take the decision while involving in a trial, that whether
hmm,
it is beneficial for them, or what are the risks, what are the benefits, what is the procedure. I can make them understand in their own language. So it will help them to take health related decisions wisely for them,
hmm.
and this, and indirectly it is also serving the community also. So
Hmm.
this fascinates me more.
All right, yeah, that's the important aspects also of a medical writing, and during the journey also you learn a lot. That's what the beautiful thing about medical writing. I always say, can you tell me what is the clinical trial process or drug development process, how drug comes to market?
Um, Clinical trial is basically a research stud is basic research studies which
Hmm,
involve the humans.
hmm,
On the humans, we do safety and efficacy with trials. Sorry, ma'am. Like we do medical interventions on the
hmm,
humans to test the safety and efficacy of it may be a drug, a medical device, a
hmm,
surgical procedure, a diagnostic tools,
hmm,
uh, to get the reliable data of that specific intervention and to ensure the safety of the patients.
hmm,
The clinical trial is further divided into 4 phases. In phase one, our main aim is to ensure the safety of that product. We determine the dose of that product, that in which dose it is effectively and safely working and not toxic. And
Mhm.
if it is safe, then it will move to phase two. In phase
Mhm.
two, we determine the therapeutic efficacy of that product, that whether on the product which we are doing the trial, it is providing that satisfactory efficacy or not. Like if we are taking medicine for cold, then is it curing the cold or not? It should cure that without
Mhm.
any other potential side effects which are greater than cold. Like you cannot get cancer while taking medicine for cold.
Mhm.
So that is mean. Then if it is effective, then we will move to phase three trial. And in phase three, we go for testing in larger populations, that
Mhm.
whether it is effective and safe. And in this, we do comparison also, like comparing with the placebo or comparing with the reference drug that is currently in the market. And if it is effective and safe, we also test this long-term safety also. And different types of population also it gets tested in phase 3. So if it is safe and effective, then the drug gets the approval and it comes in the market. And after that, phase 4 studies are also done, that are known as post marketing studies, in which we also study long term efficacy and safety of the drug.
Mhm. And then after phase three, you can launch your product to a market, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm. All right. So that's a great to know. Then another thing I would like to ask and check with you, that can you tell us that what are the 13 principles of ICGCP, those drives and the whole clinical trial process?
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
Hmm.
First is that the any trial, it should be conducted ethically. So
Hmm.
they are conducted in with the origin of the Declaration of Helsinki, uh,
Hmm.
a G- uh, in accordance with the GCP. Uh, so first is that trial should be conducted in an ethical way. Second is that we should weigh the risk and benefit of the
Hmm.
trial. We should see that how it is affecting, how it is benefiting a particular patient and as a society as a whole. And the
Hmm.
benefits should outweigh the risk, obviously. So then we can conduct it. Third comes the participants. Then we should ensure that the participants that we are enrolling in the trial, their rights, safety, and well-being, it should be maintained. We should take care; it is of utmost priority. Then comes the medicinal product. That the medicinal product that we are going to test in the patients, it clear, concise information should be provided to the patients, to the regulatory bodies, also to the researchers and investigators. Then comes a patient that are enrolling in the trial, their confidentiality should be maintained. Um, then before enrolling any patient in the trial, their voluntary consent should be taken, uh, and they have the right to withdraw from the study anywhere during any phase of the study, and they would not be penalized for that. Any harm will not come to them. After that, any trial that we are conducting, it should be well planned, well designed, and uh, it it should be in an accurate way, like we are writing protocol for that. So if we can demonstrate it in a accurate way, like the data should be accurate. Then uh, collection of the data, right? Data management, it should be verifiable also, with
Yeah.
the source documents. And the investigational product that we are using, it should, the manufacturing, the handling, the storage, it should be done according to the good manufacturing practices. Quality assurance is also important aspect. to determine the integrity of the data. And the
Quality assurance and quality control, both.
quality
Yeah.
control. Yes, ma'am, both.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Then the particip no, not the participants, the investigator and the research staff that they are involved in the study, they should be well qualified and well trained. And the
Hmm.
investigator should take all the decisions regarding the participants' safety in the entire trial.
Medical care of the research
Yes, medical
participants.
care. Yes.
And another that you missed is that scientifically sound protocol, right? Yeah, so
Yes.
that should be also one of the key foundation to ICGCP principle, that scientifically sound protocol.
Sound.
Yeah, so these 13 principles, they are the foundation of our clinical research guidelines, right? ICH-GCP are the guidelines, and on these guidelines only are influencing the regulation, right? So now, if I want to ask you that, suppose you are writing a protocol, right? And our ICH-GCP says that scientifically sound protocol. What shall you, as a medical writer, keep in mind while writing a protocol, right? And what are the five key sections? Like protocol may have 12, 13 sections, right? So just tell me five section of the protocol.
The protocol is basically written before any clinical trial starts. It serves as the blueprint of the entire trial. It will guide all the members involved in the trial, that how the procedure is to be conducted, how the data is managed. It
Hmm.
will serve as a map, you can say that, how to reach the destination and get the results. uh, Protocol writing involves it should be clear, concise, and the data that we are writing should be factually correct and
Yes.
scientifically sound. Proper citations is also necessary. Proper formatting is done, and the main thing, in my opinion, is that the data that we are providing, it should be unbiased. Like, we should not write in a promotional language that it is having lots of benefits only.
Hmm.
Proper risk and benefits should be equally justified and
Hmm.
clearly communicated.
Hmm.
Then mm, the
Just
sections,
name, yeah, just name the five different section of the protocol.
yeah. First is like study background and rational. It is
Hmm.
mean that why we are. It is a research question that why we are doing it. What, and we will provide some literature evidence also, and
Hmm.
how we will do it. What is the need to do it?
Hmm.
So that is study rational and background. And then comes study objectives.
Hmm.
We will define our primary objective and secondary objectives.
Hmm.
Then comes the study design and methodology, that
Hmm.
how which type of trial we are doing. It is a randomized trial, open label study, a double blind study. How we are, it will include like inclusion exclusion criteria of the patients, about the drug handling, and like entire method.
Hmm.
Uh, then we will data management and analysis will come.
Hmm.
Uh, that procedures, how we will be analyzing the data, how we will be handling the data that we have collected. Then comes quality assurance and safety, uh, about the trial, about the participants also, how ADRs will be managed,
Hmm.
and ethical consideration is also a part of protocol writing also.
Yeah. So there are certain sections that you can immediately speak of, Khushi, is that like you started with very right thing is introduction and background. You can say the study design, study intervention, eligibility criteria, So these are the
Yes.
sections, though those are making, the main body of the protocol, right? And
Yes.
so that immediately you can say these sections, just giving you an idea only, right? So another aspect you touched in the 13 principle is that informed consent form should be voluntary, right? Again, you told about one of the GCP principle. So now, as a medical writer, can you define what is informed consent form? A, and second is that while writing as a medical writer, what difference you keep in a language when you are writing a protocol and the same time when you are writing a informed consent form. Both are medical writing document. Will there be any difference in the language when you are drafting both documents or working on both of the documents?
Medical sorry, ma'am. Informed consent form. Informed consent form is potentially a document made for the patients that we are going to enroll in our trial. It is for their understanding that what will happen in the trial if they take part in it, all the risks and benefits, and about information about the medicinal products, about the duration of the study. So every information that is relevant to the patient that will be included in the informed consent form, which will help the patient to understand the scenario, the trial, and to take the decision whether he really wants to take part or not. Then, second question was that what is the difference between the protocol writing and informed consent form? The difference in the language is that uh, the informed consent form is specifically designed for the patients. So the patients that we are involving in the trial, it is not necessary that every patient involved will be of scientific background only. They may be any, and in Indian population we have wide diversity of people. So
Mm,
any illiterate person may also come, and any like someone from the commerce background, like wide distribution is there. So each and every patient can understand my language, that in a layman language I will write that even a student of 12th standard can also interpret my language, that what we are doing in the trial. And
mm,
while in the protocol is not for the patient specifically, it is
yes.
for the investigators, it is for the regulatory bodies, it is for the ethics committee.
Mm,
So they will review the protocol. So they are obviously from the scientific background. So some complex information might be added into that, and not such layman language is used in that, as the audience particularly differ from for both the documents. So this is the
yeah.
difference.
Yes. So because as a medical writer, sometimes we play different roles. Sometimes we do write for a scientific community. Sometimes we do write for a regulatory or a
Yes.
common public. So the beauty of our role is that can be, craft our language, we can be flexible in our language, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, and another important aspect is that as you already worked as a medical writer also, right? And will is the QC of the document is important in a medical writing? Are there layers of a QC? And how it helps to, develop the document to a final stage. So,
Um, Actually, ma'am, let me tell you that I am in my company, I am only the single medical writer, as they have just recently started. So
hmm,
no QC happens, nothing happens, just I write the document, and what my manager approves gets approved. So in my opinion, QC is important,
hmm,
as and it should be there as it provides valuable feedbacks, different perspectives get involved, and I can get to know my mistakes also. I may had made a mistake,
hmm,
uh,
hmm,
and that could be means corrected before it reaches the regulatory body. So it should be there, and it is necessary to have that. And
hmm, hmm.
specifically, I don't know, but I just told you my opinion.
Yeah, so Khushi, you can link here is that I will give you detailed feedback at the end. So you can link a GCP principle only, QC and quality control and quality assurance. Each document undergoes quality. It should be, even it is a self QC. So we will speak later, right? Yeah. And how do you feel that medical writing fits in your long-term goals? What is your thoughts on that?
Medical writing. First is actually it is my personal preference that I want to become medical writer, and I am also a medical writer. That
Hmm.
um, as a female also, from cultural aspect also, as a female, if I get married, and in India a female has to manage home also and her office also. So for
Hmm.
that, or for a female specifically, this job is really ideal.
Hmm.
And I like to do writing. I
Hmm.
I and it and I want to do something that can utilize my knowledge and contribute to the society. That, as
Hmm.
I say, that it will help making people decisions about if they should enter the trial or not. I want to make
Hmm.
a difference, and
Hmm. Hmm.
I can do this in a long term way. That it's not that after I get married I will have to leave my job. I can still continue. Even work
Hmm.
from home opportunities are available now, so
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
is also a benefit. So for me, a long term perspective is in this way. That how I think.
Yeah, that's really thoughtful, you know. So another thing is that, I suppose you said that in your organization, as of now, you are the one medical writer and who take care of end-to-end process, basically, right? Of any document. Suppose there are instances that a mistake happens, and once it is submitted, then you come to know, like, oh, there was an error. This happens, human, right? How you will respond to that? That okay, there was an error happened from my side, but now it is already submitted. How you will respond to that thing?
Um, like it has occurred in real life also. That
Yeah.
I have made errors, and it was submitted to the regulatory also. Then
Hmm.
the regulatory body gave their queries. A list of all queries were there. So
Hmm.
first of all, I analyze that where I have done the mistakes. And first, I will see that whether the mistake has happened personally by me or was it out of my control. Like sometimes
Hmm.
some data we input from different departments. Like the
Hmm.
resolution data is there, qualitative, quantitative data is there. That is
Hmm.
not in my hand. I will
Hmm.
analyze. Was it in my control or not? If it was in my control, then I will ask my sir, my manager, that
Hmm.
to guide me where I have made mistakes. I will learn from that, and I will try not to create similar mistakes in future also. And and obviously failure is the best opportunity to learn. So I will handle it in this way.
Yeah. So Khushi, you all and in your introduction you spoke about that I like to do different courses, right? You said this, and then how in general also, what you do to upskill yourself. One is courses. What else you are doing to um, sharpen your craft?
I also attend webinars if they
Mm,
are available. I attend workshops also physically. I go there, and I what I do. I seek for that continual education is there. Continual medical education is there. Yeah, ma'am. This is I do for upskilling myself. I Another thing is that I do networking with the people who are in the medical writing field. Like I
Hmm.
can learn from their experience. They are just invaluable. You don't get that on websites. They are the personal
Hmm.
experience. So I try networking people with them and learn their experience also.
Yeah, that's really nice. And you another important aspect you touched in the beginning only, that AI. Right. So it's all quite of like it was there only since many years, but if you know that since the last year, since the launch of this chat GTP and other AI tools, so it has made a quite a big noise overall, right?
Yes.
So you must have read about it. And how do you think it is going to impact medical writing on a whole? Will there be any impact on a medical writing? If yes, how it is going to impact?
There will be definitely impact on medical writing, but
Hmm.
I take it as a positive, as
Hmm.
AI is just very fascinating. It
Hmm.
does a lot of job. It
Hmm.
helps to create the content. It
Hmm.
also does the compliance check. It also
Hmm.
checks the grammar. It actually reduces the load of medical writers almost up to 80%.
Hmm.
And this will give opportunity for the medical writers to focus on something more critical thing, like some tasks need more intelligence than the AI. Like not
Hmm.
everything, AI is not human, so they can
Hmm.
focus on that task and do
Hmm.
more creative things, and they can advance in their career more. They get more time to learn new things from that, which a human has a value in that a AI can't do. So
Hmm.
uh, it it is very positive. I think AI tools are just a great help for the medical writers.
All right. Uh, yeah, Khushi, you have done a great job, right? So with this, I won't ask you any more question, right? So, is it okay if I can share my thoughts? I mean, will that be fine?
Yeah, ma'am, I would greatly like to know how I
Okay.
what are your thoughts?
Okay, okay. So, and not only to you, it's for everyone. First of all, you are the only one who said yes to the interview. No one came, right? But actually, if there would have been more people, it would have been a great experience. Initially, I thought maybe we can do like 10 minutes with you, 10 minutes some with the other student, and like that, so that everyone get exposure. Right now, just speaking on the interview only here, we already know the line of the questions, right? Like, okay, this is the direction where we will be going, right? But in a real life situation, this doesn't happen, correct?
Yes.
So, what you can do is, first of all, for a preparation purpose, you can do is that just see the job description, right? and and try to write an answer for each line. Like if they have said knowledge of protocol, right, knowledge of x document, like you are working on a summaries, right, they must have written in their job description. So focus on that and prepare yourself. Now I will tell you why you have to prepare yourself. So now in the beginning, when we there is a landing question always, that introduce yourself, right?
Yes.
So whenever I uh, take a interview session of a student, I tell them that at least practice this question a lot, because this is your landing question. Suppose if you got nervous at the beginning, that will be difficult to handle yourself, and it is an
Yes.
impression question, right? So for an impression, you can see you have everything. You have a good qualification. You have good knowledge as well. I have seen why the way you were answering to the questions, and the way you were responding. You have good knowledge, and more important, you have a experience also. But now in your introduction, Kushi, what you need to focus is that you have to prepare a little bit. So you were answering me the way it was coming to your mind. You know,
Yeah.
it was not planned. It was not in the form of a story. Right. So
Yes.
just as a filler, I noticed that you said, I live in Ahmedabad, because nothing comes in your mind. And you said, yeah,
Yeah.
which is fine, still you managed. But somehow na, the interviewer, see, there is a pressure on both the side. It's not pressure on yours only. I'll tell you, when we take in an actual environment interviews, there is a pressure on other side also, because they have to select the right candidate, correct?
Yes.
So I'll say that if it is job is related to clinical research, then focus on that experience lot more. If it is related to medical writing, focus on that. Try to complete your answer in 4 to 5 lines and very impactful, because you have a great background, right? That's
Yes.
my one observation. Otherwise you have done a great job, still you managed. So you are landing questions.
But yes, to specifically learn how to give interview only, I
Yeah.
volunteered.
So,
I
and the second thing, considering that's my thought only, that you have a good academics, you have not spoken about any academic achievement. Maybe you have topped in somewhere, some great
yes,
achievement. You have missed any merit. You missed that because it
yes,
didn't come your mind, right?
yes, ma'am.
I'll say that please, that make
Uh,
write
In
it and
Ma'am,
prepare it.
actually, I have a list of academics, so I thought if I will start saying, then more time will go. So I skipped
No, no, at
that.
least one that you can at least would have said that academically I was very brilliant student. There are multiple instances there I
Yeah,
topped, and something like that,
yeah,
to
something.
make that impression, right? That. And then second is you turned on your video. That's fantastic. Another thing you can keep in mind, because these days video interviews are happening. You can put a background um, to your video. That's one thing. Another is initially your video was quite shaking.
Okay.
It was shaking, right? So you can, maybe put a laptop, or maybe books. We don't have all the facilities at home, right?
Yeah.
So you can do that arrangement, can prep yourself, right?
Yes,
Little
ma'am.
in advance. Just one minor point, and but it is very important, because
Yes,
the moment
actually,
you come to
yes,
camera, everyone
yes,
start looking at that. And even for international organizations, generally the person who is taking interview, they always come on the camera. But somewhere I have seen with the Indian organization, they don't turn on the camera, right? So you alone will be there, but make yourself feel more confident. You can do this little prep work, right?
yes,
It
ma'am. Actually,
this was
I have put the laptop in my lap, so as I would be speaking, that would be shaking in my lap. So
correct.
I
So
get to know.
you have would have kept like maybe
In
cushions on that
Yes, yes.
lap, right? Or anything. We get many
Yeah.
things at our home,
So
right?
while speaking, it must be shaking. Yeah, I
Yes,
got
yes,
it.
yes. And it not only shaking is a problem, it will make you conscious. It's like laptop is in your lap, right? You will
Yeah,
subconsciously get conscious, because now
yes,
your whole focus should be on interview, right? So
yes,
you can keep cushions and whatever. We get many things at home, right?
yes,
Right. And another thing is what important thing I liked in you is that you were very knowledgeable. That positive aspects I was telling, you know your subject, right? And even when you were speaking about your dad's treatment, correct? And you took, because that shows your passion. You gone into the details, nitty gritty of like what was the mechanism of action of
yes,
X and Y injection, right? And
yes,
how you come to conclusions that show your interest, right? That's a very good thing. Keep it up, right? Another thing is that when we spoke about that, also shows that you have not read it yesterday, right?
yes.
When we were speaking about, yeah, speaking
Lots
about
of really.
yeah, speaking about the phases of clinical trial, I always say that healthy volunteer phase 1, first in human, these strong words, right? Because they are impactful. See, these days competition is little more. Hobby can be more impactful. That we need to ensure. So if you would have just gone through yesterday only, okay, first in human, like whenever I take my session, I always focus on these words. Phase 2, exploratory trial, right? Phase
Yes.
3, confirmatory. Phase
Confirm.
4 is like, if you would have focused on these keywords, it would have been more impactful. So
Mm.
that's one, and another is, says, when you said the QC one question, that um you need not to say it that there is no one in my organization in a QC, because even freelancers, those they also develop end-to-end document at their own, correct? So they do self QC. So say that QC round is important because it is one of the GCP principle. Right, the quality insurance, quality control is very important. So there should be always a 1 or 2 rounds of a quality control, right?
Yes.
Mm, what else? Okay, so throughout talking, also what I like the most in you is that your positive attitude. When I have thrown few difficult questions, also like challenges and all that, you handled it well. Even the stress question that you said, that I try to get something positive out of any situation, right?
Mm.
Now, you can gather examples also in your life, that something this happened and I learned. Maybe one example, right? Used to make it more impactful. So, and you do have a learning aptitude, because you were speaking constantly that I enroll myself in, the courses. It's not like your academics, you have done it, now there's a full stop. Your overall attitude is that I'm open to the learnings, right? I go and attend webinars, conferences, and all that. And even for when we spoke about hobbies, you spoke about your medical writing experience. That's how you should be, because you are coming here for a medical writing interview. If you are speaking that yes, I do write in my free time, it's making an impact. So that's overall feedback from my side. Right. So mostly what happened, Kushi, is 95% of the interviews is that they'll try to make you comfortable. Right. The way I am talking. So there will be very rare that, like I have seen in India, people get scared of interview, right?
Mm.
It's a both way. Keep in mind, it is a both way, because initially you were also little confused, right?
Yes.
So all the big all the big companies, even if you go in person or you are coming on a camera, they will make surely you very comfortable, right? So don't worry about that. Get over that fear. That those, if I will say that, if in the interview you are not feeling comfortable, even if you got selected, don't join, right?
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, so no point there going there. So and so my point to tell you is that before you go and open your camera or you go in a person for interview, you need not to get scared. Just give a message to your mind is that it's a meeting. I am meeting to get this offer, and they are meeting me, to select the right candidate. Correct? So
Yes.
the pressure is on both sides. So just wanted to tell you that how you guys can prepare yourself mentally as well. Mental preparation is also important. So to conclude is that I really liked the way you approached an interview, So if I'm in a panel, I definitely will send you to the second round. And I'll tell you that there are multiple rounds in every, for every role. So if I would have to record my answer, I definitely send you to a second round, right? But in the same time, if you would have taken care of these things, would have been even more impact, just telling you. So
Yes.
and to conclude is that for a video camp, please make yourself little more prepped, correct? Keep water also along. Even I have kept, even I have kept. So keep water along with you, notebook with you, right? And make yourself most comfortable, correct? And you were confident also, right? With this, these are all my points with those I wanted to say regarding this interview. You can also share your experience, that how you felt after the interview, so during the interview there lot goes in mind. After the interview, how you, what are your thoughts you wanted to share with other students, so that they can get some help out of this exercise.
After the interview, it feels like a huge load is released. That now I feel free.
Yeah.
Now I will get to know what is the result. Like I go well or I failed. Like if it goes well, then it is good. But if I suppose failed, then as you have given the feedbacks, I will work on that feedbacks and again give the interview if possible. And applying the same organization, also I will do that. And
Yeah.
I will keep trying and learning.
Yes, yes. So no, overall, you handle the whole interview very confidently, because in our today's interview, there was no instance that where you were not knowing answer. You were not clueless about the answer. But in future, this can also happen. This can happen to me at after working 12, 13 years, right? There
Mm.
we can't know everything, not humanly possible, right? So that situation, if that thing comes to your mind, happens to you, always try to tell whatever little you know. It sometimes happen, maybe 5% we know, 10%
Mm.
we know. Tell that 10%, 5%, and that later, and then tell the interviewer gracefully that I may need to know, read more about this,
Mm.
so that's okay to accept. The more important is that what we are judging in interview, what is your learning attitude. Once we have hired you, how you handle difficult situations. Do you have a learning aptitude? Are you confident? Are you ready to work? Are you hardworking? So it's more we are testing on these aspects. And why I'm saying that you would have prepared more for XYZ is that this is how we link is that suppose the interview is a big opportunity, right? It's interview is a big opportunity. If person is not preparing themselves for a big opportunity, so then that means that's also red flag, right?
Yes, the
Yes.
person may be lazy.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. So that means they are not taking things serious. That's
Yes.
the, but otherwise it's not a knowledge test and all that. It's more a personality test that will this person be fit in my organization, right?
Mm.
So overall, it's great work, Khushi. I definitely see you. You will grow in your career. That's definitive, right? So all the very best, best wishes
Thank
to
you,
your
ma'am.
great future, right?
It was a great experience also to get a chance to interview you with
Thank you
you.
so much. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Kushi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can we, ma'am, if you have a little bit of time, can we ask from the audience if they have any
Yeah, yeah,
other
definitely.
participants?
Yeah, definitely, Samriti. So,
Please, guys, if you have any questions you want to interact, please do.
yeah, they can share their feedback also. And going forward, guys, I will also encourage, two more nominations, right? We would have done like maybe 10 minutes with 5 candidates. Maybe would have planned one group discussion type, because this will help you. Because we are trying to mimic the real time interview, so that mentally you are more prepared. So please feel free to ask the questions. Okay, I will ask. If someone can, you can't go on mute. So it's not a movie that everyone is sitting and watching. So can someone tell you from the audience what you liked liked about this mock interview, and what is you are learning? Anyone? Otherwise, I will take the names because we have worked really hard on this. Ashwarya, would you like to tell that what are you are learning from uh, today's mock? Maybe one line.
Ma'am, throughout I was noticing that whatever you were asking,
Hmm.
Kushi was responding without taking any gaps. And
Hmm.
this was really something which I should learn and focus more on. So, this is what I learned.
Ha- How see, this is great point that you have noticed that she was not taking a gap because she was very confident, right? And even if you are feeling that, how you can do is that Ashwarya, is that prepare yourself, write your answer. Believe me, this is going to help you a lot. See, she was very confident, she was already working, but her landing question was not that smooth. So prepare yourself, write your answers in advance. That will really help you, because then you need not think during interview. You are already prepared, right? So well done. Anyone else would like to share your experience? Avinash S, what you learned from today's interview? See, if you are not answering, I will ask Samriddhi not to give certificates. This is not the right way. At least every student should ask a question, one question, or share their thoughts at least. Avinash, Aisha, there is, I think I know Bhagyashri. She always responded. Bhagyashri, would you like to share your experience today on an interview? Yeah.
As you said that we need to prepare for there were too many takeaway points, ma'am. As we are like still in the learning phase,
Hmm.
it was uh, knowing, it was great knowing that how to talk, how to be confident, how to prepare for the interview, how to answer the
Hmm.
questions.
Hmm.
And even I learned the things from Kushi, as she was very confident while answering.
Yeah, she knows her subject. Her knowledge was reflecting. See, as an interviewer, even see, if I see the person who I'm interviewing, they are knowledgeable and they are confident, they are positive. They are having that positive. Pavitra, who is that? Huh. So they are knowledgeable, they have a positive attitude. Even if they fail to answer certain questions, I will hire them because of their attitude. you know so these are the important aspects. That's why I always highlight, guys, it's not possible for all of us to know everything, but how you can smart this thing. You have a job description with you. I'll say that prepare for each line. If there is a written in the protocol in a second last line, prepare for it. If it is written CSR, if it is written summaries, whatever is written in that job description, prepare it. Be smart, right? So, okay. Anyone else, guys? Not able to. Rohan said that I am not able to talk in English fluently. So, guys, see, mostly organization they hire people who know English. But if you are not able to speak fluently, you still have answer for this. So if you already have written your answers in your notebook, you will be much more fluent. See, immediately I can't tell you how you can improve your English overnight, but definitely if you already have written answers in your diary, the sentences will come to your mind, very very easy. And that's how you can handle your interview very brilliantly. And no one want, in medical writing, no one want that you are exceptional in your English. A competent level is fine, and then the way out I have already told you. There is one, I think, okay, mental preparation. Yes, mental preparation is very important. I even to say that to an extent that, guys, when you are having interview, stand in front of mirror 5 to 6 times at least recite your introduction. That will take away a lot of pressure. I don't know what is the magic in it. One of our faculty, she made us to do this exercise when I was in university. So that exercise I never ever will forget. So whenever I had an actual interview, I'm always confident. Okay, any other thoughts, guys? Have you liked this overall experience, Rohan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but please, guys, volunteer yourself for this type of initiative. You can also help Smriti to organize these type of more, you can say, interviews. Ma'am, I was scared that when anyone says to introduce yourself, as I always stammer when introduction rather than speaking about the content. Even if I don't know, I admit I'm missing something, but introduction is a. So this is the way to deal with it. You are not the only one. Many people get scared, confused, stressed while introducing themselves. I'll say that use this practice. Write first of all, write 5 lines that you want to speak. 5 lines, at least you won't stammer. 5 lines about your introduction, and then speak every day in front of mirror. I guarantee you, I was one of those, that person that you are telling. I used to stammer, or I used to freeze. When I was in university, I used to freeze, in my viva, that when they used to ask me that, introduce yourself, or all these very simple questions. So this is the one way out. Anyone else? Hope this is helpful.
For
And then,
confidence, ma'am, I would say at least the start would be unmute and talking here itself. There are not many people. This would be a great start.
yes, because and if you guys, you are a group of student, you are not taking full advantage of this network. Plan interviews between yourself. See, one student can take interview other student. This is exercise they made us to do at my university. At and my master's program, we were only 4 students. They made us to do this exercise. You can also make these small groups, right? And you can interview each other. Your fear will go away. Main is the mental preparation to take out that fear. And you can upload these type of interviews. In there is, I think, another initiative, that cafe, something like that. Another girl approached me for that. So you can post your small interviews there.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi,
Hello.
good evening. Hi, good evening.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. As we are freshers, if we don't have any experience, what will we do in that time, ma'am?
So, as you are fresher, you can speak about your academics very well. That I have all, written knowledge about this field. I have also taken industrial internship. I have taken, these skilled courses in addition to my normal academic. All these things you can speak. If you have done some internship, speak more about that, and try to relate it to a practical experience. Say that I may have not worked. If someone say that, have you worked in some organization, tell them that I yet have not got that an opportunity. I'm just starting my career. However,
I have done this internship where I got an opportunity to develop these XYC, say medical writing or clinical trial writer skills. So this is how you can handle that, question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah.
So my question is, if a person is considering their change from the industry, for example, they are in some marketing industry and now they want to shift to either clinical research or medical writing, this type of industry. So what will be the they I believe the recruiters, though they are having the experience of work, they might, or the recruiter might consider them as a fresher. So at that point, what will be the recruiter's point, like for the consideration of that particular candidate?
Your name is not coming on screen. What may I ask your name?
Okay, my name is Soumya.
Soumya. Sorry.
Actually, my device, I changed my device
Oh, no worries.
because some issue is
It's
there with my device.
so no worries. This is a great question. So it also depend on how you are projecting yourself. I tell you my example. I initially spent 5 years in in a clinical operations, core clinical operations. Then I switched to medical writing. Then when I gave my CV, I highlighted even minor, small medical writing experience. I highlighted in that CV, and when the interviewer asked me the question, I gave them in an answers is that I have all the background of a clinical trials, clinical research because I have worked this much time in that field. That is going to help me in an exponential way in a medical writing. Now I need not to spend time to brush up my understanding of a clinical trial. And not only that, there are instances that where we were doing a medical writing work also, and this is how it is linked. So that way you can link, your one experience won't go waste because you are changing your role, right? There are many people who change. Earlier they started medical writing, they may change to pharmacovigilance or a vice versa, or operation to medical writing, and the
Okay.
PV is, a lot. Even your other faculty, like Akshima, she might have taken your classes. We both of us were in operations, then we moved to this medical writing. And guys, this is constant. It's not like people do at the beginning of their career. Even I have seen my few of my bosses, they reach to a stage of a director in a medical writing, right? And then they changed their profile to PV. And one of my boss, she changed, she gone to operations, like from medical writing to operations, right? That too at a director level. The fundamental is same. So whenever someone throw that question on you, respond to it very confidently and link, because you have already got into field clinical research, that you can always tell that I already worked in a clinical research. Now medical writing or PV, wherever you are trying to switch, is a one of the function of a clinical trial, right? So this I mean, this is very normal that people switch their function.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question?
And there's a question in the chat box from Amolya.
Chat, okay, chat. Okay. During my interview, can I talk about project that I'm currently doing as an? Of course, that's the thing we are always telling you that's why we are making you to do these small projects. You can talk about it with full confidence. Any other question? But believe me, make your small groups and try to interview each other, right? Or if you need my help, I'm available.
There's another question in the chat box. If someone is not from the pharma background but has done thesis work in their bachelor's or master's, are they eligible for medical writing?
Which background? It's a biology background, or that they need to clarify. Anyone who is from a biology background, they can take part in a medical. They can be a medical writer. I have seen one of my managers. She has done what you say that botany, something like that only in PhD, but she was in a medical writing. So anyone who has a background of life sciences in India, they can be a medical writer. And in abroad, I also have seen a trend, people from a literature background, they do small courses in health science and they become a medical writer. But in India is like more on a biology background.
Ma'am, I don't see any other questions. So
Okay. Then we are good to close. Overall, it was a great session. A student participated, so it's really nice. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.